Stuff from them and more great stuff to follow. This, the Junior Power Bikes and Street Fighters. There on the front row of the grid, Hayley, Charlotte, Ellie and Gemma. Oh, and a few bikers as well. On pole position, Ben Grindrod, alongside him Tony Coombs, then Christian Idden and Leon Geacock. Yes, morning sir. He's enjoying himself. On that second row, Rob McNeely, Nick Sargent, Mark Hornsey and Sam Reed. And Ian, looking forward to another great race.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracker, this one. Christian Idden out on the Aprilia Tuono 1000, the Millet engine street bike this time, not on the Supermoto machine. So Christian's first real experience of road racing on a proper road bike. Can't call it a race bike though, Robin.
Now, this is the junior power bike class, of course, and another great start from young Tony Coombs and Ben Grindrod right with him. Ben, this is not too far from his neck of the woods. I think he's up from around Manchester, and of course, that's not far down the road from Alton Park, so something of a home circuit for Ben Grindrod, certainly qualified well, and already in this lovely head-to-head battle with Tony Coombs. Tony in that day-glow pink. We can see him from anywhere. It's great. We don't mind recognising riders. That's it. More colour the better. And Ben Grindrod staying right with him as they run up over Hilltop. But that familiar sit up and beg style of the Street Fighter A-class machine of Christian Idden just nipping by up into second.
Yeah, I wonder if Christian's going to be able to back it in like he was on the Supermoto at Mallory. That'd be a sight to see.
I actually don't think he can't back it in. He slides that rear end of everything he's ever ridden.
But yeah, great mix of machinery in this junior power bike and street fighter class. You've got the 650 twin Suzukis of Tony Coombs and Ben Grindrod, but the 1000cc Aprilia of Christian Idden just slotting into the lead as they come into Lodge Corner.
It's a wonderful sight. It's a great mix, this class, not just of the machines, but also the riding styles, of course. And I was having a chat to Christian back at Mallory Park, in fact, and he said he was finding it quite difficult to not take his feet off the pegs. He was thinking, keeps having to think, can I really get my knee down? Am I allowed to do this? Oh, I mustn't do this. But fantastic stuff. Of course, a multiple British champion, 8 times, I think, British Supermoto champion. And look at him here. He was in the lead. He then went down to third. He's now back up into second, ahead of Tony Coombs, but still behind Ben Grindrod. Great battle at the front. There in 6th place is Rob McNeely, being chased down the hill by number 200. Another of these glorious machines, Steve Hodgson, Hoddy Hodgson.
Yeah, Steve Hodgson on the KTM 990, just ahead of the junior power bike of Nick Sargent. And that's another of the Moto 450 machines behind Nick Sargent, so more of those coming into the fray. Christian Idden on the outside of Ben Grindrod as they come into Lodge, back into the lead for the Aprilia.
And Tony Coombs there, I think he's watching the back of Christian Idden's bike thinking, what on earth is he going to do next?
Well, look at this lot coming towards us, Robin. Nick Sargent there up into 7th place ahead of Steve Hodgson now. There's Will Hodgson on the Moto 450 in that group as well. Rob McNeely goes through 6th. Steve Hodgson fighting back. Will Hodgson's getting a bit squirrely into Old Hall there. And Nick Sargent around the outside.
Yep, Nick, I think, having a great start to the season. He just looks much more comfortable on the machine this year. But looking very comfortable indeed. Christian Idden up the front. It's absolutely impossible to believe that this is his first ever proper season of road racing. He's used to the slippery stuff, is Christian, but my goodness me, he's taken to this like the proverbial duck to water. And there we see Ben Grindrod chasing up Clay Hill, and there Tony Coombs. They have been dropped by Christian. He's loving the wide open spaces of Alton Park.
Yeah, so the 1000cc Aprilia out in front. Ben Grindrod on the 650 SV Suzuki 2nd. Tony Coombs' is similar machine there in 3rd position. And then I think it's the 400cc bike of Mark Hornsey in 4th position at the moment.
Yeah, good battle behind Mark as well. Leon Geacock involved in that, but here we see Tony Coombs. Tony's a very impressive young rider, real press-on sort of chap, and he's been up the front. He's been off the bike, done all sorts of things in his short career, but he will not stop until after the checker flag. There we see a lovely shot of Steve Joy on number 71.
That's another of the KTM 990s, so battles all the way through this junior power bike and street fighter class. But up the front, through Britain's chicane, off towards Hilltop, Christian Idden under no threat. Of course, first season of road racing, as you said, Robin, but the family history is there, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yes. He's very fond, I think. Oh, he makes fun of the record of his dad's riding, but actually, there is a great relationship between the two of them. I think he's very proud of his dad's record, and quite rightly so. Tony Coombs there. Still, he's hard on it in third place. This will be good points for him as far as the championship is concerned.
And look at this, Will Hodgson on the Moto 450. Up the inside, and a little glance, wasn't expecting that into his chicane, but the motocross donor bike making this Moto 450 Honda. Will Hodgson first time out on it, but Christian Idden easily up the front.
Yep, Chris just set a fastest lap of the race as well, looking very cool, calm and collected, as well he might. Checker flag and another good win for him, and Ben Grindrod powering across the line to finish second and leading junior power bike home. So Christian Idden, the overall winner. Ben Grindrod finished second. Tony Coombs a good third. Leon Jaycock in fourth ahead of Mark Hornsey. Then Nick Sargent, Rob McNeely, Will Hodgson in eighth, Paul Rhodes in ninth, and Steve Hodgson rounding out that top 10.